CW here. I want to talk a little bit about my favorite caliber, favorite little mini rimfire caliber, the 22 Magnum. And somebody had brought up the topic of semi-automatic 22 Magnums and how we don't see many of them, and there's not many out there. And there's even fewer of them that work really well. And I've got a few of them, and I've had a number of them. And for the most part, yeah, that's the truth. They're harder to design and have them work right. That long, skinny case, blowback action. It's harder to make work. Ruger tried to do it with their 1022 and pulled the plug, and we haven't seen one since. Now there's a couple of companies that copy the Ruger and produce it, but it doesn't sell well. And if you read, there's some problems with it. I think it was a Bill Ruger kibosh on it. So if there's oh, it's dirty in there. If there's if that has something to do with it, you know, I don't know. So I need to clean that out a little bit, huh? Anyway, this is a Savage A22 Magnum, and I like it a lot. It works really well. It's got a really nice bluing, and it shoots really well. This is one of the only rifles that I've had in 22 Magnum that cycle all bullets. I've got a Marlin that only works with 40 grain bullets. It won't shoot light ones, and it'll shoot the 50s, but it's not great. It shoots CCI 40s, full metal jackets, Winchesters pretty well, but it's not very accurate. I like the rifle a lot for feel and shape. You know, it looks just like the Camp carbines, except it came with a walnut stock, and the Camp carbines were all hardwood stocks, but it looks the same. Now this came with a plastic stock, and it can be had with a wood stock, I believe, laminated now. And they're talking about, if they haven't already released it, I haven't seen it, but they're talking about offering this in 17 WSM, which would be really nice. I would like to have one of those. It's a Ruger 1022 style magazine. I think it holds 8 rounds, 8 or 9 rounds. It's not 10 rounds. I think it's 8 rounds, and it works pretty good. But this design here is a flaw. It's just plastic, and it relies on that edge right there to hold it in the gun. And it goes in fine when the bolt's back. And part of it is this stock, because the stock is a lot of what makes it work. This front, oh, excuse me. This front clip here, this isn't a clip, this is a magazine. This front clip here is in the stock, so the dimensions are because of the stock. Now it's off the threaded hole that's attaching the stock to the firearm, but still. But it goes in fine, and it works fine when the bolt's back. When the bolt's closed, it's a little harder to get in there. But this is a Boyd's stock, and I can never ever remember the name of this, and I looked it up before I started this video so I would have it. Precision Hunter? No. Boy, oh boy. I'm awful with names of this thing. Anyway, it's a really nice stock, and it's funny, it matches the board there. And it's the same as the style that I put on the 454. And this is one of the Boyd stocks that's really good right out of the box. It fits really good. It's contoured really good. I didn't have to do anything to it. I did clean up the bedding a little bit, you always have to do that. And you want to seal all the inside because they don't do a really good job. This is all epoxy coated and everything, but when they cut the inside, they don't reseal it. So you want to reseal in there. And the bluing on this is really, really, really nice. It's very, very shiny, very polished, really, really nice bluing. And it's full-size gun. This is not a kid-sized gun. Full, 14-inch, 13 and 3/8, 13 and 3/4 length of pulls. Feels, it weighs about 8.5 pounds. I mean, it's solid with a scope. This particular scope is one of my all-time favorites for rimfires. I like Hawk a lot for everything, but this particular model, what is this model? It's a Vanguard? Vantage. It's a Vantage. And this one is a 4 to 12. It's available in a number of different powers. But this one is a Vantage 4 to 12. But its reticle is cut in the glass. And it's reticle that's designed specifically for the 22 Magnum. So when you look inside, it says 22 Magnum right on it. And it's got cuts in a BDC with yardages out to, I don't know, 200 or 300 yards for bullet drops. And it really is really nice, and it's really, really repeatable and accurate. The turrets are capped, but they're stand-up style, so they're like a little mini tower, and they work really well. They are resettable, but quarter MOA. But I really, really like this. Scope a lot. I've got a couple of these. They're not the cheapest optic out there by any means, but if you're used to buying $69 scopes for your 22s, this is gonna be a shocker for you. It's closer to what you spend on for your high-powered rifles. I think they were just about 3 beans last time I looked, $329. When I bought them, they were about 2.5, but since COVID, everything is just skyrocketed. 3 to 9, 2 to 7, maybe 2 to 7. I know 3 to 9 and 4 to 12 for sure. And I know they have a 17 HMR and 2 22 long rifles, a subsonic and a high velocity. Because I got those two. And I don't have a 17 HMR. I don't own a 17 HMR. My 17 is a WSM and Mach 2. And I don't think they make this scope for either one of those. But these are Leopold PRW rings, and it comes with Weaver bases. So no school kid grooved receivers. Drilled and tapped steel receiver, solid. I believe it's threaded into the receiver. And when I got it, it shot so good and felt so good. I just felt that it really deserved a nice stock. So as soon as I was able to monetarily, I ordered this stock out, and this is obviously a right hand. And I even had it labeled CW. And it's got a rollover cheek piece over here. It's just a really nice stock. And like I said, it shoots really good. It likes the 50 grain, and it's very repeatable. Very repeatable. So let's get it out on the range and do a video of it out on the range. But in the meantime, I just wanted to introduce you to it. Take a look at it here. Let me show you the barrel markings. I think I have to turn it the other way for you to read it. But let's see here. We've got Savage A22 Magnum caliber. Of course, you got to read the manual. Savage Arms Incorporated, Westfield, Massachusetts. but it's a really nice. The receiver is starting to change color. I just noticed it's going plum, like the old Rugers did with time. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but this is a plum brown, where this is good black. But the polishing was really nice on it. The barrel polishing is, I mean, this barrel is really shiny and smooth. Way nicer than your average, you know, especially 22. The only bad part, or part I don't like, is this back piece back here is all plastic. But not much you can do about it. It does have a, you know, fancy dingus trigger, and it's a pretty nice trigger, and it's adjustable. Plastic magazines. And this is also a lighted reticle scope. You can go green and red. And I like to add these for my rimfire hunting rifles because I do have need for a light on them from time to time. So this is nice to throw on there. They're cheap. They just clamp on the scope tube. This is a 30mm one, and it comes with little spacers to fit on a 1-inch tube. And it works fine. You just clamp the quick release ring on a, you know, on one of these 1-inch diameter flashlights, and it sits up there just like that. Works really good. Works really good. I just found a set of rings I didn't know that were up here. I don't know why they're up there. All right, I'll put them down here where we can get use of those. And there we go. That's about all I can say about this nice rifle. If you got to have a semi-automatic, you can give this one a look. It's been good for me. This one's been so good, my buddy bought one of his own because he's a big semi-auto fan. And his shoot's just as good. If not, actually, I think his shoot's better than mine. His is more accurate than mine, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got the same exact setup. He bought the same scope when this one works so good. And I think he's got different rings, but... And he's got the plastic stock. But really nice rifle. So there we go. Savage A22 Magnum. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And watch for it in an upcoming video. We'll take it to the range and see how she shoots. All right. God bless everybody. CW out.